Hello and welcome to this week's astrology update. Just a reminder, we are using the True Sky to take a look at where the planets and celestial bodies are placed within the constellations on the ecliptic. So this week we have a couple of different updates, but most often we're seeing a lot of the same because week to week is going to be very similar. And depending on how large the constellations are, it takes the planets and celestial bodies a little bit more time to move through them. I'm talking Virgo right now, okay? As we can see here, we are looking at the constellation Virgo, and we can see the Sun, Mercury, and Mars are all within this constellation. And actually, let's move to Monday. Might be a nice thing to do. Okay, so here's Monday, first of all. And we can see we still have Mercury, which is it's behind the Sun right there. The Sun and Mars are all still within this constellation Virgo. Now, take a look at Mars for me, though. Right, here we are. Mars is right on that border. So Mars is just about to enter into Libra, right? But we're still within Virgo. So we still have a few more days of Mars being in Virgo. Let's see when that change actually takes place. I feel comfortable saying we're in a void here as of Wednesday. I feel comfortable saying as of Saturday, the 28th, Mars moves into Libra, because there's this, there's the boundaries we can see here, right, the little dotted lines, but there is a place where there is a void, and within that void, we experience both signs that the planet is next to. So for a couple of days, we will have Virgo and Libra energy for our Mars placements. So basically all that means is we're moving out of that grounded, structured energy within our rootedness in life, and we're moving into a more balanced state. So we're still going to feel that groundedness from Virgo, but we're also going to feel a slight shift within our root chakra. So anything that has to do with security and safety. Mars also has a little bit to do with our aggression as well. So we're going to be moving from we are so unbelievably grounded in this to we're grounded, but I feel a shift. And then after Saturday, we're going to move into Libra, which means we're going to be balancing that groundedness with what else we need, right? So we're still going to feel that earthy energy, but we're also going to get a little bit airy because Libra is an air sign. So we have Mars. I also see Mercury is here. So let's take it back, right? And let's take a look at Mercury. Mercury is our communication. It's our connection to how we communicate with ourselves, how we communicate with others. A lot of people know Mercury as the planet that quote unquote messes shit up with technology when it's in retrograde. Really all it's doing is it's helping us to finesse the way that we speak to one another and to ourselves. So Mercury, as we can see here, still within Virgo, and we are on Monday. So let's see when Mercury crosses over that boundary. So we have Mercury in the void as of probably actually early Friday, because this is later on Friday. So we have Mercury within that void of we feel very grounded when we communicate. We feel like we can structure ourselves. We feel like we can communicate effectively to, okay, now we're communicating in a little bit more of, not necessarily an ineffective way, but more intellectually, right? So that's that void. And then Sunday, the 29th, is when we will officially move within the Libra constellation. So this means we're finding balance between that groundedness and the airiness, right? Between the fiery energy of our communication and the emotional energy of our communication, right? Libra is all about that balance. It's connected to the scales, to justice, right? So that's what's going on with Mercury. Now, you'll also see the sun, right? When we're on Sunday, the sun is still within the constellation Virgo. It is Virgo season, my loves. It will be Virgo season until the very beginning of November. So the sun for this whole week is going to be in Virgo still. Now let's go back to Monday and let's take a look at what else is happening within the sky this week. So let's find the moon. Should be right over here. All right, here. So the moon is first quarter waxing gibbous phases, and we're also going to see the full moon this week. So as of Monday, we're in, it looks like we're somewhere between the first quarter and a waxing gibbous, which basically just means we are taking the action, right? We're feeling kind of fiery and ready to go. But the moon is within Capricorn. Come on, there we go. But the moon is within Capricorn, so we're feeling grounded in that state, but we're working hard. We are determined to see to our goals. We are determined to move forward. So really what the advice for the moon being in Capricorn is to continue to sit into that earthy energy, right? Because after we move out of Capricorn, we're going into Aquarius. So that is going to be very intellectual. We're going to get a little bit creative, right? So let's see. We move into Aquarius on Tuesday the 24th, and we are definitely within a waxing gibbous stage here. So we're picking up more energy, we're raring to go, we want to get the things done, right? And the moon within Aquarius, like I said, we're going to be probably a little bit weird and innovative and intellectual and airy. We might feel lighter with our intuition and with our emotions. So that's Aquarius. And as we continue to move into Wednesday, we're still within Aquarius and we're still within that waxing gibbous stage. However, Thursday we move into Pisces, right? And this is not quite the full moon. I say it is because I say a couple of days before and a couple of days after the full moon peak, we feel that energy. But as you can see down at the bottom here, you can see a little piece that's not showing, right? So it's not quite full. Now the moon within Pisces, our emotions and our intuition are feeling definitely on edge, right? We are feeling those emotions very, very deeply. Pisces is like such a deeply watery sign. So just allow yourself to feel the things that you're feeling and express them in a very healthy way, whatever that is for you, right? And I can't sit here and tell you exactly what you're going to be feeling. Yes, Pisces is a watery sign, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to feel sad and you're going to want to cry. It just means that whatever feeling and emotion that you are experiencing is coming through in a very deep way. And a lot of times these emotions feel like they take over sometimes. Don't worry if that's how you feel. You don't have to allow that to happen if you don't want to, but you can be cognizant of the fact that that's the Pisces energy, right? So as we move from waxing gibbous in Pisces to the full moon takes place at its peak on Friday, the 27th. We're still within Pisces. The full moon is in the constellation Pisces. So what this means is those emotions and feelings are going to continue to come up, and they're going to be brought to light and illuminated because of the full moon. And here's what to do about that. Now, for this full moon, if you do rituals of any kind, this might be something good to add to it. Take a journal or a notebook out and a pen or a pencil, a writing utensil of some sort, and write down all of the emotions that you're feeling. Don't expand on it just yet, just write them down. Right? I feel upset. I feel angry. I feel sad. How do you feel, right? And then for each emotion that you write out, because you may be experiencing many, for each emotion that you write out, I want you to take one at a time and journal a little bit more. Get into it. What is being illuminated by this emotion? You can think about why you're feeling that way and how to move through it. Okay? So that's my recommendation for this full moon in Pisces. Now, Saturday, we move into Aries, and this is still going to be full moon energy, right? So from those deeply emotional feelings and experiences within Pisces, we're then going to be within Aries, which is like, you're probably going to want to say to yourself on Saturday, I don't want to feel this way anymore. I'm over this. I'm done. I need to get rid of it. This is a time to actually move through those emotions instead of sitting with them. So today is the day, and today is, Saturday. Saturday is the day to take action to move through those emotions, whether that be taking a grounding walk, spending time in nature, journaling out more things, having a dance party with yourself, right? Those are some things you can do to move through your emotions. And on Sunday, we are coming into the waning gibbous phase. That's what it is. And we're still within Aries, so we're still going to feel that fiery energy and wanting to move through those emotions and not have them here anymore. You also may feel some fire within your intuition, and this may be really trying to illuminate and get you back on track. That's okay. You should listen to it. So that's the moon. So the moon is moving. Wow, the moon is moving from Capricorn. We're going to reach the peak full moon within Pisces, and then we're going to end the week in Aries. So we've got earth, we've got air, we've got water, we've got fire. What an amazing balanced week that we have with the moon. So let's go back to Monday, and we are actually going to head back to Aquarius, and this is because we have Saturn there. Now, if you've been here for a few weeks, you know that Saturn really hasn't moved. In fact, it's moved backwards because Saturn is actually in retrograde. So what that means is it looks like it's moving backwards within the sky. And Saturn, you can see, is almost back to the cusp of Capricorn and Aquarius. But I have good news. There is only a very limited amount of time that Saturn is staying in retrograde. Yes, all of this week he is still going to be retrograde in Aquarius, but whenever the 4th is, I was going to say, but next week we have reprieve, but I think the 4th is actually the week after. So the 4th of November is when Saturn returns to station direct. And once Saturn stations direct, he'll actually be moving forward in Aquarius and will eventually now get into Pisces. But we've still got a while before he moves into Pisces. So we have good news about Saturn. Yay for all of us within our Saturn returns, which is me. Now, we move over into Pisces. We also have Neptune, and it's hard to see if it's not. There we are. So we also have Neptune within Pisces, and this hasn't changed. It is not going to change for a long time, but I'm just going to keep coming back to it week after week, just in case we have newbies coming on and watching this. So Neptune is within Pisces. Neptune is also within a retrograde, so right now he is also moving backwards within the sky, and he will continue to be retrograde until the beginning of December. So that is what we have for Neptune. Now let's move forward a little bit more to Jupiter. And here we have Jupiter within Aries, and Jupiter is also in retrograde. Yay! Jupiter's been in retrograde since the beginning of September and will continue to be in retrograde for the remainder of the year. So Jupiter in Aries, we've got lots of fiery energy here. And Jupiter is our planet of expansion. So when Jupiter is within retrograde, we can feel contracted, small, but when it's in retrograde, what this means is that we are gaining more clarity on where to expand ourselves, where to expand our perspective. And within Aries, we're seeing this in a very fiery way. We're very passionate about it. We are very, we're making moves from it. So that is Jupiter retrograde in Aries. And he's going to stay here for, like I said, for the rest of the year in retrograde, which means also Aries. So, as you can see too, we've got Uranus, and though the boundary says it's in Aries, we're kind of in between. Uranus is also in retrograde, so he's been moving backwards in the sky for a bit. Now, it's within Taurus, but he's moved backwards into Aries. So we're kind of on that cusp of the Taurus-Aries line. And the Uranus retrograde is actually going to be through the end of this year, all the way till the end of January, before he goes to station direct. Now, Uranus is our planet of eccentricity, of progression, of individuality, of freedom. It's very deep. So the things that we are shifting through Uranus, especially in retrograde, you may not be consciously aware of because it's an outer planet. It's very, very deep. And it's intuitive. So you may not be aware of this on a conscious level, but subconsciously you are aware of the moves that you're making within your individuality and progressiveness. So you might be in a space of finding yourself and who you are within this phase of your life because of this. And we're seeing that, we're experiencing that within a very fiery state right now because of Aries. But we're also on the cusp of Taurus, so we're grounding in ourselves and parts of us that we know are us and not what others thought that we were and made us. We can ground in that and we can feel safe in that. But the other stuff, we're letting a fire under, and we're letting those ashes lie. And we'll see once they get into the earth how they transform. Okay. So let's move back along the ecliptic and see what else we've got. We have Leo. And as we can see, Venus is within Leo. So Venus is how we manifest, really, and our values. It's also a personality, wow, it's a relationship planet. So how we interact with ourselves and how we interact with others. And it's feminine in and of itself. In the Venus-Mars polarity, this is the feminine side. So when we have Venus in Leo, we are actually feeling very goddessy, right? We're feeling like we can take on our relationships and we can take on our femininity. So you might feel yourself pulling into a more feminine role within your relationships. It really depends on where, which sign Venus is within your chart. So this is very generalized information. And in order for me to take a look at how this affects you, on an individual level, and this is within any planet that I talk about on here, I would have to take a look at your chart and we'd have to go through that together. But regardless, on a very general level, we're feeling very lion-like, right? We're feeling very good within our femininity because of that Leo energy. And Venus is going to stay here for a bit. Let's see when she actually moves out of Leo. I thought it was going to be this week, but it looks like it's going to be next week. So she's in Leo for the remainder of this week. Okay. I feel like we missed one. Let's see, we did the Sun, the Moon, we did Mercury, Venus, Mars, we did Jupiter and Saturn. Oh, you know who we're missing? We're missing Pluto. And that's because it's hard to see him, so I have to look for him. So Pluto's within Sagittarius, and he's also going to stay there for a long time. Actually, he's at the tail end of Sagittarius, so it's really not that much longer, but it takes a long time to go through any constellation, even the smaller ones. So Pluto actually just went direct. Let's see. Pluto went direct very recently. Last week, I want to say. And what this means is now Pluto is moving in a forward motion. So Pluto is our planet of transformation, transforming old into new. And it's also a very deep planet. It's the outermost planet in our system. So that means that it's very deep, it's collective, it's unconscious. Pluto is our messenger. So when we tap into our intuition, we actually are hearing some messages from Pluto because he is the messenger to us. But this here is why we feel like we're in a constant state of transformation, is because of our Pluto. And the planet being in Sagittarius right now, on a deep level, we are igniting fires so that we can transform ourselves into who we should be and what we want to be. So that's the energy of Pluto. And that wraps it up for this week. So if you're interested in looking at how the sky, the planets within the sky, affect you on a personal level, feel free to reach out and book your True Sky astrology reading. Those details will be in the description below. And I will see you next week for the next episode. Have a great week.